Hey friends, I'm sorry for that disconnect. There was an issue in audio and setting up the audio, so I'm sorry about that. Am I audible to you all? Am I audible? Okay, fine. So let's get started. Let's get started. Okay, okay. Right. So what we talked about is these are the things that we have already talked about, friends. As you can see a screen, as you can see my screen, we have talked about the microservices, what exactly the microservices are, and then we have also talked about the container-based deployment, wherein we do not deploy the application on a full-blown EC2 instance or any other machine, but then instead we deploy it in lightweight containers, which are kind of Docker containers. They are Docker containers on which we do the deployment. That's what we have studied. That's what we have seen as far. But then when we work with this kind of an architecture, which is typically a distributed architecture, as you can see for yourself, one large enterprise application, I repeat, one large enterprise application is distributed here, right? So this is one service, this is another service which is replicated across multiple containers. This is yet another service. This fixed deposit is yet another service, and credit card service is yet another service. So all of these are different services. And one service, when it needs to communicate with the other service, then how will it do the communication? When this machine is running and when this service is running in a Docker container, which I said, please do not forget this point. Whenever I say Docker container, you understand that it is a different machine altogether. It's a different machine all by itself, though virtual, but it's a machine. It has got its own disk space, it has got its own network. I repeat, it has got its own network. So this Docker container would be running, and perhaps this has got an IP address of, say, I'm just for the sake of putting in 192.168.80 dot say 1, for example. If this is the IP address it has, and you have another, this is yet another service that is running. This is also running in its own Docker container, and suppose it has the IP address is, say, for example, right, and here the IP address is, say, for example, 2, and this is the Docker container in which customer service is running. So from this microservice, when you want to make a call, I hope I'm audible to you all, friends. Am I audible? We are all on the same page. Okay, good, thanks. So you see this, when this microservice wants to make a call to another microservice here, how will it make a call? HTTP colon double slash. Okay, how do you set up this domain names and all? We'll come to that later. But then you see 192.168.80.2. Correct? This is what you will have to refer the service as. You will have to refer to the service based on using this IP address. But there is a big problem with this. You cannot refer to the Docker containers with the IP. Not that you cannot refer. Yeah, correct, the IP address. But not that you cannot refer technically. But the problem here is that you may stop this Docker container and you may start it again. Quite possible this is running in two containers, and one is getting started and the other will get started and so on. And how will you refer to the IP address? Because each time this Docker container restarts, it may have a different IP address. There is no such guarantee that you will have a specific static IP address given to each and every Docker container. That doesn't really work well. That doesn't really make sense. So from here, if you hard code, if you say that HTTP colon double slash 192.168.80.2 slash customer slash 101, then there is a problem here. And the problem is what? The problem is often naming this particular service by IP address, or accessing that service rather by IP address. So instead of this, we will have to name this service. I repeat, we will have to name this service. And when we name this service, we will be able to access the service by name. I repeat, we will be able to access the service by name. You got that? Correct? No, not the domain name, Monisha. Not the domain name necessarily. This is the name that will be specific to this entire microservices based environment. The domain name will be mapped to the API gateway. We will come to that later. I repeat, there are various things that we will be studying here, friends, with respect to microservices. Correct. With respect to microservices, there are various different things that we will be studying. So instead of me naming or pointing out all of those different topics that we will be learning, instead of that, I am showing you the practical issues and the problems that would come, or rather, I would say challenges. I repeat, the challenges that you will encounter in order to reap the three benefits. What are those three benefits? Come on, tell me, friends. What are the three benefits? One benefit is that it is agnostic of, okay, programming platform, okay, or otherwise I'll say implementation platform independent. Implementation platform, okay, independent. Correct? We talked about this. See, this is one is Node.js service, whereas the other is a fixed deposit service, right? Which is a J2EE service, which is kind of a Spring Boot service. Then second is what? What is the second benefit? The second benefit is that, uh, yeah, each service can be maintained and it evolves on its own, right? Independent of the others. So that's one yet another big benefit. And then the other benefit is, I'll put it on the right hand side here. And the third big benefit is that you can scale vertically. Okay, you can scale vertically. What do you mean by vertical scaling? This is called vertical scaling. This is called vertical scaling, wherein this is called vertical scaling. This is called vertical scaling, wherein you break down your application into multiple services, and each service is completely independent of each other, and you will be able to have multiple containers running each one of the services. That's called vertical scaling. This is called horizontal scaling. Or rather, forget about vertical or horizontal, x-axis. This is scaling across the y-axis. Okay, remember this. There is a test. And this is scaling across x-axis. I repeat, monolith is scaling across x-axis. Scaling across, I'll say x-axis, right? This is how it is. This is scaling across y-axis. You got this? This is how. So these are the benefits. But in order to reap these benefits, this is how you have to architect your application. But if this is how you architect your application, there are several challenges that you will come across. I repeat, there are several challenges that you will come across. You got that? What those challenges are? What are those challenges? The very first challenge is the one that I just talked about. How will you address the services? How will you access the services? How will you name those services? Correct? So, in order to overcome these challenges, I repeat, in order to overcome these challenges, there are libraries and frameworks provided by something called Spring Cloud. Can you see this? By something called Spring Cloud. So one is Spring.io, and on Spring.io, you see there are various different projects on Spring.io. One of them is Spring Cloud. So I am on Spring.io/projects.spring cloud. You can see this here. So what are the features of Spring Cloud? Distributed versioned configuration. It allows you to do the configuration, which will be which is distributed configuration. For example, see, if this is one service that you have, if this is another service, this is yet another service, this is yet another service. Maybe there is some configuration that is common to all. So instead of replicating that common configuration across everything, you will have one common configuration used called a Spring configuration. So you will be able to use this distributed and version configuration. Whatever you understand out of this is just sufficient. Don't worry, we are not getting into the details of it. I'm just mentioning service registration and discovery. This is what we are talking about. This is something that we're going to do now. I repeat, this is exactly what we are going to do now. Service discovery and what is that? Service discovery and registration and discovery. That means we will create the service in such a way that it is a named service. I repeat, it is a named service. And then when I make a call from here, if I want to make a call to the customer service, the service call would be based on the name of the service, not the IP address. So tomorrow, if there is any other IP address dynamically given to this service when it is running runtime, it doesn't really matter to me. You got that? You got that, friends? Okay, so this is what we will be using: service registration and discovery. Then routing is yet another thing wherein we can very well route, and this will be used for API gateways, service to service calls, load balancing, circuit breakers, global logs. All of these distributed messaging, all of these are the different services that are provided. These are the different libraries that are the part of your Spring Cloud, which helps you to build a distributed application like this. Correct. See, you guys are lucky that they have included this kind of a topic in your training program. So even if you understand 50% of it, it's great, because this is quite an advanced topic. And what is advanced? How do you classify things between basic and advanced? That you understand today is basic. If you don't understand, it's kind of advanced, but it will start opening up the moment you start working on it day in and day out. It will be like next to breathing for you. So nothing basic, nothing advanced. It's just that yes, this is quite a topic to be covered when you have not yet started your career, but still it's fine. That's fine. If your stakeholders have thought of it, they really what they intend, and they are smarter than us. So it's absolutely perfect, and we will make sure that we justify the time and money that is being spent on this training, and we will definitely discuss a lot about this. So far theoretically you're clear, right? Theoretically, any doubts, any questions? Theoretically, any doubts, any questions? And you have understood the challenge that I just talked about. From here, if I want to access the service, I will not be able to access the service by just simply a IP address, because you just don't know what will be the IP address next time. But what we are going to do is we will still make a call. We will still get started with this. We will still create two services, and we will make a call from one service to the other. We will make a call. Okay, let's get started with this. So now practical things are getting, are taking up shape. We will actually do few things. Now, I'm not going to do anything more in this spring, in this project. I'm not going to do anything new in this spring project. I will in fact close this project. Okay, I'll terminate the server that is running, closed. Okay, and you see for yourself, I'll say new project. I will say Spring Initializer, and I'll say training slash PWC, but this time I'll say Spring Cloud. Okay, or else best is, let me put it microservices slash, okay, I'll say customer service. So my application that I'm creating is a customer service application. I repeat, my service that I'm creating is a customer service. We are going to replicate exactly what we have discussed over here. So let's see this. I have customer service, and I will create a fixed deposit service. These are the two services that we will create. First, let me do it on my machine, and then you can do it on yours. So see, customer service. This is what I'm creating, customer service. So see the package structure, I mean, sorry, the location, so that it stands out. And tomorrow, if you want to take a zip or something, we can very well do it. And then here I'll say com.pwc.training. And here I'll say customer service. I will leave the artifact ID as customer service. And you can see this here, pwc.training. Customer service will be the base package. All my packages will be created within this package. Okay, then I'll say next. And then what is it that I want to take up? I'll say web. You can see this web. I'll just take up web here. Okay, and okay, I can take, which I'm not going to take, don't worry. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so I'll just take, for now I'll say web, and you see this, we have got Spring Web here, which is already taken. I'll just keep this as Spring Web. That's it, nothing more than this. I'll say finish. Okay, I'll say finish. And we have formed the XML file here. Correct. Same thing that we had created earlier, nothing new. And I will simply create one single, you see this, I've got an application here. It's a Spring Boot application. I better give this flatten package. Is there? Okay, it's still picking up. I think it's still coming up. Do you see Maven here? Maven. You don't see Maven here? No, there's something that has gone wrong here. Otherwise, it would have created everything automatically. Let me close this. Let me remove this from here. I will also go and remove it from. Okay. And once again, I'll start new Spring initializer. And here I'll say customer hyphen service. It's Maven, it's Java, it's com dot pwc dot training dot training. And this is all just perfect. I'll say next web. I'll take up Spring Web. That's sufficient. I'll say finish. Yeah, correct. Now it's picking up. I'll take Maven right at the top. Yep. Okay. Right, here you go. So you see this, I've got Maven here, and then this is my service. This is the dependency, plain simple. So here I'll go to src main, and I'll say Java. And you see this here, I'll say package again. And this package will certainly be the package within the existing package, and I say controllers. Okay, or else I'll just simply say REST controllers. Within the REST controller, I'll create a class. I will give the name of this class as customer REST controller. Okay, here we are discussing microservices. Sorry, it shouldn't be plural. So, we have already covered the topics like DAO and the services and using the repository, talking to the database and getting the data from the database. All that we have already learned, isn't it? We have covered that. So those things I will not bring in over here. Rather, I will give you, towards the end of the training, I will give you an assignment which will cover everything end to end. Okay, but then otherwise, as of now, we are going to focus on microservices, how one microservice can call another microservice. So you see this, I'm going to make this as what? Come on, REST controller. And I will create a simple, a very, very simple. So before that, let me say a package again. And within customer service, I'll say model. Within that, I will create a Java class. I will give the name of the Java class as customer. I'll say three things: private, int ID, private string name, private string address. Okay, setter getter. If anyone figures out how to create setter getters all in one shot for all the properties, do let me know. So you have this, ID, name, and address, setter getter are created. Okay, so that's there. Now, what am I going to do here? I will create a constructor. One is the default constructor, and the other is the constructor that is int ID, string name, and string address. This dot id is equal to id, this dot name is equal to name, and this dot address is equal to address. Correct? So far so good. Shouldn't be difficult, right? One customer class, ID, name, and address, one default constructor, but the other is overloaded constructor here. Coming back here, I will create @get mapping, and I will write here path is equal to slash. I'll write customers. What is it? What is this supposed to return? Public. I'll say response entity. I say list of customer. I'll say handle get customers. Correct? I will have to import this. Perfect. I will have to import this as well. Perfect. Now, the last thing is that I must return it back. So I'll say list of customer. I'm hard coding. I'm not bringing it from the database. Is equal to, I'll say arrays.asList. I'll say new customer in brackets 101. Name is PWC. Address is Chennai. Okay. That's it. I have just one customer in the array list, and then I say return new response entity. I will pass customers as a parameter and HTTP status dot. I'll say OK. Right, friends, take a look at this. Any doubts, any questions here? Tell me. Do you have any doubts, any questions here? Can you please very quickly create this service for me? And then when you run this from here, it must serve this one single customer object. Slash customers is the API. It gets started on 8080. If you want to change the port, what will you do, friends? Application.properties. You can say server.port is equal to 8081. Okay. I will now restart the service. It will start on 8081. See what have I done here? It's so very simple. I'll say localhost 8081 slash customers. Oops. Equal double slash localhost colon 8081 slash customers. Yes, here you go. See this? This is what I want. Come on, get started fast. Let me know once you are done with this. Let me know once you are done with this. This is how my customer REST controller looks like. Hope I don't need to show you the customer class. If I have to show you customer class, that's really bad. If I have to still show you customer class, this is really bad. I have created a customer class with a default constructor and the constructor which takes 3 arguments right here in front of you. Come on, I will not show you customer class at all. Get started. Right, friends. So please, all with me. Okay, those who have not yet finished somehow can wait now. Do not continue doing things on your own machine. Let me explain the other stuff here, and then you can get started. And you can move on to continue the backlog. Complete the backlog as well as the new thing that I will be giving you. So this is so far so good. We have created a service called customer service, and this customer service will be up and running as it is. Just don't touch this at all. Okay, let this be running as it is. As in my case, you see this is running here, correct? And what I'm going to do here is I will now create, I'll say file, new, a project. I will create a new project now. When I create a new project, again, in the same microservices folder, but then I'll say I have, come on, what is the next thing that we have got? Tell me what is the next thing? This is the service microservice fixed deposit service. So I'm going to call it fixed deposit. Okay, fixed deposit hyphen service. This is the service we have. See, fixed deposit service. Rest everything remains same. So I'll say com dot. I will say pwc dot training. Everything else remains exactly the same, and I'll say next. And here also it will ask me what all projects do you want, what libraries. I'll say Spring Web is the library that I need, and I say finish, and it creates. I'll wait for some time till the time it creates that service. Okay, it has created the service. Please see. I'll remove this Flutter. Okay, see, you see this now, Mavin, and I have that stuff here. You see this dependencies, and I do have, yep, everything is in place. You can see this, correct? Now, how many projects do I have? I have Windows, and you see customer service and fixed deposit. If there are other projects open in IntelliJ, then you better close it. I repeat, if you have other, yeah, correct, the two projects. But if you have any project other than these two, you better close those projects. You can just simply say file and close project. That's not a big deal. You can do that. But then I have two projects. One is customer service, wherein the service is already running. You can see this, it's running. It's running. And I have now a window, and I'll say fixed deposit. And under this fixed deposit also, I will be running the service. You can see this run option out here. So I will just simply click on run. But wait, before I do that, I have to create here a new package out here. I will give the name of the package. This package must be within the fixed deposit. So I hope by now you are very clear that there is a base package and all your packages must be within that package. So I'll say dot, I'll write REST controllers. Okay. And then from here, I will create in this, I will create a class. I will say fixed, sorry, I'll say a Java class and I'll write fixed deposit REST controller. Okay. REST controller. Of course, this needs to be marked as what? At the rate REST controller. And suppose I have at the rate post mapping over here, and I say path is equal to slash, I say fixed deposit. Okay. And suppose this is that post mapping using which I'm creating a new a new fixed deposit for the customer. But from here, I need to access the customer account, isn't it? From here, I need to access the customer. So first of all, let me complete this. I'll say public, and I'll say response entity. I'll just say response entity, and I'll say map. I think you must know this string. Okay, handle. You know what is a map, right? We had discussed this while discussing collections and map and stuff. Map key value pair. Remember? Handle post deposit. How I'm going to use it, I'll come to that later. See here. Okay, let me import this class. Perfect. And here, for the time being, I'll just simply say map string comma string. I'll say response, okay, is equal to new hash map. Correct. This is how you create maps. And then you say response dot, I'll say put, and I'll say status, and I'll say okay. Status is, I'll say success, something like this, or whatever I'm going to give. And then this is what I'm going to return back. I'll say return. I'll say a new response entity, and I'm going to return back that response, comma, HTTP status dot okay. Here it's just that I don't want to return anything and I just wanted to return a message back. Okay. I'll say message so that you don't get confused. I'll say message. I just want to return a message back to the client of this API that okay, everything was successful. But from here, I want to make a call. I want to make a call. What call I want to make? I want to make a call to the service. Which service? So once again, here within the base package, I create service. Yeah, I want to make a call to customer service. That's correct. But then from the REST controller of fixed deposit, I will be making a call to the business service of fixed deposit. Right? I'll say service. Within the service package, I'll say fixed deposit service. Take a look. And from this at the rate, I'll mark this as at the rate service. And then here, I will write public void create fixed deposit. Okay. This is the function. It is this function from where, because this is the part of the business logic. I repeat, this is the part of my business logic that I must invoke some service on customer and I would like to get the list of customers. Suppose, just list in real life, actually, it will not be the list of customer, but a particular customer. So from here, call the customer service. This is with service, friends. This is fixed deposit service. I have customer service running over here. Correct. I have customer service running over here. You see this? Correct. Right. I have customer service running over here. You see? So from this service fixed deposit, I want to make a call to the customer service. So I have a REST controller. In the REST controller at the rate, first I'll say at the rate auto wire, and here I'll say fixed deposit service, fixed deposit service, and from the REST controller I will be making a call to fixed deposit service dot create fixed deposit. Can you see this, friends? Flow समझ में आ रहा है? I hope you're getting the flow. I'll go back to my draw.io and please see this. What is a flow? We have our fixed deposit service, isn't it? This is what we have. I'll put it over here. Then we have our customer service, correct? I'll put it over here. So in this fixed deposit service, there is a REST controller. And what is that REST controller? How do I invoke that REST controller? Path is equal to fixed deposit. You got that? Path is equal to fixed deposit. So I will invoke post slash fixed deposit. What will get invoked when I invoke this? There is a REST controller that will get executed. Yes or no? Come on, when I invoke this, this will be executed, isn't it? Correct. And I better give the whole path here. I'll say http:// tell me if this is running. Okay, do you all have any points here? Yeah, okay. So please understand this. If this service, take a look, if this service is running on port 8081 already, okay, let me add a service here, view, tools, show me the services, and then when I say add service, run configuration, and then Spring Boot. So you see, this is the service running where? On 8081. Can I run fixed deposit also on 8081 while customer service is running on 8081? Will that be possible? No. So what I'm going to do, I'll go to resources, I'll go to application properties, and I'm going to run this server.port is equal to, I'll write 8082. Correct, 8082. So see the flow now. Here I will invoke HTTP localhost colon 8082 slash fixed deposit. Don't forget, this is supposed to be a post. See, there is a test. Huh? Hello, there is a test. Hello, there is a test. Hello, there is a test. So you see, from the address bar, you can never ever invoke a post or a put or a delete. From the address bar, if you pass something, your browser will always send a GET request. Whatever is the technology behind the scenes, whether it is Spring Boot or Java or PHP or whatever, browser will always send a GET request from the address bar. If you type anything on the address bar, it will send always a GET request. If you want to send a post request, then you will have to either have an HTML form in the browser where method will be equal to post, or you can use Postman to test this. I repeat, you can use Postman to test this. Okay. So this is what you do. What will get executed as a result of this? Come on, tell me, as a result of this invocation, what will get executed? What will get executed as a result of this? REST controller. Which REST controller? Fixed deposit REST controller. Correct. Okay. And from the fixed deposit REST controller, you are making a call to what? Next, you are making a call to fixed deposit service. It's service. And what is that called? Create FD. Okay, fixed deposit. Am I right or not? From here, you're making a call to this function. This in turn will invoke an API. There is an API over here, http:// localhost colon, come on, 80 what? 80, come on, 8081, sabash, 1 slash customers, right? Slash customers. Okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I will invoke this. Right, this is what it is. And from here, I'm just returning some hard-coded values. From here, I am returning some hard-coded values, isn't it? Right, customer objects, hard-coded, I'll say hard-coded customer objects. You got this? Correct. And from here, I will be making a call to this, my dear friends. Okay. From here, I will be making a call to this API. This is what I will be doing. Perfect. Right? This is what I will be doing. You got this, friends? And what is the response that I'm expecting back over here in create fixed deposit? I'm expecting the customers here in my code, not in the browser or anything. I'm expecting that in my code. I hope this flow is crystal clear to you all, friends. Please take a look at this flow. Come on, implement this. I will go back to my IntelliJ, and this is something that we are still yet to do. We are still supposed to do this, okay? But I want you to complete all that I have done over here. This is something that you'll have already completed. This is something already done, isn't it? Come on, you'll have done this. Say yes. This is done. Now, this is something that I want you to do. Come on, friends. This is something. The one which is in red is what I want you to do. This is something that is still to be explained. I will explain this to you, but complete this on 8082 like I have done over here. See this from here. I'm making a call to create deposit, and create deposit in turn is just simply doing nothing for now. It's void. We are doing this is yet to be done. This is, from here we will be making a call. This part. This is yet to be done. Okay. And यहाँ पे एक SOP डाल दो अभी for the timing. SOP. We will call customer service from here. Come on, friends, do this. And I want you to run this application for me like this. See here. I want you to run the application for me like this. It will run on which port? Port 8082. Here also I will pick up the service view, tools window, and I'll say services, I'll say add service, run type configuration, Spring Boot, and here you go. See, it's running on 8082. Friends, please pay attention. Please pay attention. Customer service application is running on 8081. Fixed deposit service is running on 8082. Please check, friends, Windows. Customer service is running on 8081. I will not repeat this. Fixed deposit is running on 8082. Okay. Don't get started, friends. I hope you all have installed Postman. Please confirm. Do you have Postman on your machine? Postman is installed. If not, please install Postman. It's a matter of just few minutes. Do you all have Postman installed on your machines? Please install Postman. And then in Postman, you will just simply say post, you will create a new API post localhost 8082 slash, I'll write fixed deposit. Okay. And I will click on send. That's it, send. And the moment I do this, I must get the message success. And here on the SOP, I must get, we will call customer service from here. Come on. This is what I want. Come on. See this. As a result of calling this post, come on, friends, loads of things for you to do. See this? I will click on the send method here, and then this is what I'm going to get. See here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And everything that I'm asking you to do, there is nothing new in that. And I've already explained to you several times, and it's, in fact, you have done it. Come on, if you are unable to do this, there is a serious problem. You will not be able to work on the projects from next week onwards. There is a serious problem. Okay, forget about the exit test and the test and all. You may pass those tests, that's still fine, but then you will not be able to work on the projects, which will be really, very bad. So please make sure that you complete this. No choice. You must and must complete this. Come on, get started. Do let me know once you have completed this. Please do let me know. Good. Come on. So you see this. This is the flow. Nothing great. This is the flow. Correct. So from one service, we have now done, good amount of job. We have already spent a customer service. We have already spent a fixed deposit service, and we have this API created in fixed deposit service, which is taken care of by the REST controller. REST controller in turn makes a call to fixed deposit service. It's a service class, it's a service component. And then in that, I've got a function called create fixed deposit, which I invoke from the REST controller, which is now supposed to make a call to HTTP localhost 8081 customers. And from here, I'm going to return some hard-coded I'm returning some hard-coded objects back, which is already done. Now, this is the only part that is remaining, correct? This is the only part that is remaining. So what is it that I'm expecting as an end result? As an end result here, I must be able to get the customers. I must be able to invoke the customer service and get the customers here. I repeat, I must be able to get the customers here. Very interesting stuff, isn't it? I must be able to get the customers here. This is so. Are we all very clear on the objective of our, as we proceed further, what is it that we are going to achieve? Are we very clear on the concept, what we are trying to do? Are we very clear on that? Please confirm, friends. Are we clear? Very clear? Okay, come on. Good. That's great. So the time now is 1:30. In next 20 minutes, we must be able to finish this off. Very simple stuff. In fact, for me to explain, it's not going to take much of time, but for you to do it, perhaps some time, and then 30 students was left out. No problem, Manikan. We will take the attendance today, of yesterday as well as today. Today is what, Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday. Okay. Okay. Okay, chalo. So, how do I invoke the service? I will use something called REST template. First of all, wait a minute. I will create a REST template here like this, @REST template. So, sorry, auto wired, and I'll say REST template. Can you see this here? And I'll say REST template. I will create. So who's going to create an instance of this REST template? It is the responsibility of my Spring container. Who's going to inject it? It is the responsibility of my Spring container. Let me check that out. Let me check that out. So here, if I write s out, then in that case, I must not get that REST template as a null object, isn't it? I must not get that as a null object if Spring has instantiated it, isn't it? So let me run this and see. So I am running my application. So it did not create. It did not create. Why? Because I will have to create it. So what I'm going to do is that for the time being, I will not do it. And I remember and I know why it's that. So I'll just create a REST template here as a local object. REST template is equal to new REST template. So this should be good. Now I don't need to test this, of course, because I am creating explicitly. I am creating a REST template object here. This is the REST template object that helps you to invoke services on the other service. It helps you to invoke an API. It helps you to invoke a RESTful call. It helps you to make a RESTful call. So how do I do that? I say REST template dot. I will say exchange. You can see this. I'll say exchange. And there are several overloaded methods, as you can see, of exchange. And one of the overloaded methods helps you to specify the URL. So I will give the URL as what is the URL supposed to be? Come on, we have already done this, right? I mean, we've already documented it. So this is what my URL is supposed to be, comma. What kind of method it is supposed to be? See, the IDE keeps on telling me, where I am on the second parameter and what is the data type of it. So HTTP method dot, I'll say it is supposed to be get, comma, correct? Then it tells me HTTP entity, if at all I want to send. Suppose this is not a get, but a post method, suppose. Then if I want to send something in the body of the request, I will use the concept of request entity, but I don't want to do that for now. So I'll just simply say null, comma. And then what is the next thing? What is the response type? What is the response type? So either if it is just a customer object, I will say customer.class is what I'm expecting, but it is not a customer object. Listen to this very carefully. It's a list of customer. I repeat, it is a list of customer. So it's a list of some generic type which happens to be customer. I repeat, it's a list of some generic type which is of type customer. So for that purpose, they have given a specialized, can you see this here? Parameterized type reference. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll say new parameterized typed reference is what I'm going to give here. See the way I have written this. So the first parameter is the URL. Second parameter is the get method. The third parameter is, I mean, whether it's get, post, or whatever. And this is the fourth last parameter. Now, parameterized reference of what? I will say it's a reference of list of customer. This is what a channel list of customer. I do not have customer created here at all up till now. So let me create in the model class here. I will say package, and here also I will have a model class, model package, sorry. And here also I will create a class. What will be the name of the class? Customer. I want to work with objects, isn't it? So this customer class will be as same as the one that I have created here already. So I'll go to source. I will not spend time writing it. You can see this model here, customer. I come back here. I will delete and instead I will paste. So you see this, I've got the same customer class here. Don't worry about duplication. That's fine. Okay, so I have a customer class here now. So I go back to my service and you see I will import the customer class here. I will import the list also, java.title.list. It's done. What is it that I'm going to get on the left hand side? I'm going to get a response entity of what? Of list of customer. Okay, responses. This is what the response is going to be. Please take a look at this. Aram se. This is the crux of the matter, so you need to understand this very nicely. And there is no rocket science in this. See, you are invoking HTTP localhost 8081. If you invoked this from the browser, right? What is it that you're going to get? You're going to get the list of customer objects. So you are invoking this through your program. What is the method over here? Tell me. I did mention this, that if at all you are putting any URL in the address bar of the browser, it will always be what? Get, post, put, or what? Get. So it's a get request. Anyway, then I know that this is the get request, right? We know that very well, isn't it? In my customer application, you see this, it is a get mapping. We know it. So it's a get. Do I want to pass anything in the body of the request? No. And what is the data type of the response? What is the data type of the response? The data type of the response is of some generic type. It is some generic type. So I will say new parameterized type reference, list of customer, open brackets, close bracket, and then just nothing over here. You see this, if you go to this, this is your abstract class, and this is a kind of a extension that you're creating. You are creating an extension of this class runtime, right? This is what you're doing. So this is what you want to write this. Don't worry much about this. Don't worry much about this. Just understand that if it is anything that is a generic type that is being written back, see, this is the generic type, isn't it? Response entity contains list of customer. It could have been list of anything else as well. So what it is, what's the generic list of what? Customer, and then you got response entity list of customer. That's it, done. So very simple. There was a time when we used to do circus of 5-6 lines in order to get this done. Now seeing how simple this is. I will say response dot get body. What is it that I'm going to get when I say get body? I'm going to get exactly list of customers. See this? This is what I'm going to get, customers. Okay, here you go. Got it. And I better go to the customer class. You remember the toString method that we used to write, friends? Come on, you remember that? ToString method. Here you go. I've written a ToString method. Yes. So I'm going to write what now? I'll say customers dot for each system dot out dot sorry, out double colon println. So this will print me all the customers that are returned back. Done. It's done, my dear friends. Please see this. Now I am going to restart my application and I will invoke this from Postman again. And when I invoke this from Postman, you will see for yourself on the console, I'm going to get the data that is coming from where? Another service running on port 8081. So please see this. Postman. Again, I click on send. It is successful. Here you are, customer ID 101, name is PWC, and address is going to Chennai. This is the data coming from where, my dear friends? It's coming from this API, which is in the customer service. Come on, yes or no? If I down this service, if I put the service down, is this running? No. Is this running? No. So what will happen now in this case? I have this service is running, but this in turn is making a call here, HTTP call. So what have you used here in order to make a call? Come on, what should I write here? REST template is what I have used. Come on, yes or no? I have used a REST template in order to make a call. But this service is down. So of course, this is going to report an error, isn't it? This is going to report an error. So let's go back to my Postman and I click on send, and you see this returned an error. Can you see this internal error? And now when I go to my IDE also, you see this here, it says connection refused because there is no such connection. That service is not running at all. Hello friends, that service is not running, isn't it? So I will clean this up. I go back here, I restart my customer service. Correct. Again, I go back to my Postman, and now when I say send, I'll get success, and I get to print. I get the printout of your customer object. Cool, isn't it? Come on, Prince. Isn't this cool? You can make a call from one service to the other service through what? Come on, what is it that we have used? We can use a REST template. Correct? So this is what you're supposed to do, friends. I'm going to keep this code open. The time is 1:23. I will give you all not more than 10 minutes to complete this. That means, 30, 1:30, 2:30, we will be back. 1 hour lunch break. There are loads of other things that we're going to discuss. 1:30 is from 1:30 to 2:30 is the lunch break. We're going to resume back at 2:30. Come on, friends. Any doubts, any questions here? Any doubts, any questions? You will be able to complete this, right? In next 10 minutes, I'm still keeping it open. So it shouldn't be a big deal.